pleased to have now on the Rich Eisen Show is the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Rex Ryan. Coach, how are you? Thanks for calling in.
Rich, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You know what? I mean, the Rex Ryan that so many New Yorkers came to know and love, I personally saw that Rex today at the podium, Coach. It seems like you have a bit of a rejuvenation going on right now. Would you agree with that assessment?
You know, I'm just so fortunate to be here and so excited to, again, build a team and one that's obviously a very talented team. So we can't wait to get at it, and let's see what happens. But I think this team is, we want to build it in our community's image. And I think if we do that successfully, we will be successful.
Now, you saw that community image on display when you last coached against the Bills in Detroit in that game where few people gave the Bills a chance because of what was going on in the community, and they wound up representing the community so well. What were your impressions of the team across the way on that day, Coach?
Well, Rich, I mean, they pretty much smoked us like sausage. There's no question about that. They put it on us. But it's a very talented football team, and but the fans, you might recall. I mean, I wanted that game played in Buffalo, even though it clearly is a home field advantage. But I think the fans of all the teams in the league, I think it's probably the most loyal fan base. They're not detracted by anything, weather, just you name it. But it's, and believe me, I've driven those buses in there, and I've been saluted by the fans many a time before. But they're great, and you sense it, and I think, and I know what these games mean to the fans, and I think, and I'm sure Roger had to do, what he had to do. I mean, the snow was unbelievable, but I hated the fact that it had to, take away from the fans.
Rex Ryan, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, joining me right now. How does that sound to you? Does it sound strange to a New Yorker, a New York City guy, Rex?
It's got to, you just, put all that. I had some, great times there with the Jets, and I was fortunate to be there and met a lot of people that I'll be, dear friends with for a number of years. But it's time for me to move on, and I'm excited about it. When you say, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, I can't tell you how excited I am about this opportunity, and there's so much stuff to do, but every little step of it, I really embrace, the challenges that are in front of us and the work that's in front of us. I really can't wait to get going.
Before I do move on in this interview from this, just a couple more questions. How seriously did you consider maybe working in television, doing this paparazzi stuff, Coach?
Well, no, I think, I was fortunate that, I wasn't going to be a coordinator again. I think it's either I was going to be a head coach at the right place, or I was definitely interested in doing the TV thing instead of being a coordinator. And but I was very honest and upfront. I wanted to be a head coach in this league, and but it had to be a good situation. I wasn't just going to take any job. And when the Bills offered me, that opportunity to be the head coach, I jumped on it.
And in terms of that, I don't know if you're a lists guy, if you do the pros and the cons, writing it down on a piece of paper, as so many people do. But if you are, or if you were, would on the pros side be getting to face the Jets twice a year, Coach?
No, see, I don't think that was it at all. Absolutely wasn't. But to me, having the fact and really even being in that, AFC East, it really wasn't, okay, I choose that to stay in this conference. That wasn't it either. The fact that I am in, is it a little special? Sure, there's no question about that, but I got so much admiration and respect for the players of the Jets and a lot of people in that organization. But again, it's clear that we know who the enemy is, and they're on that list, and just like I'll be on their list.
Right. Rex Ryan, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, joining me right now. Couldn't help but miss the Instagram and Twitter post of Jill Kelly, wife of the all-time great Buffalo Bills quarterback, and you had drinks with him yesterday, Rex. I'm wondering if you could tell me what it was like being with Jim Kelly as the head coach of the team that he took to 4 Super Bowls. and just sharing some times with him yesterday?
Oh, it was fantastic. I've met Jim before. His nephew was playing in Clemson, and my son obviously plays at Clemson, and my son's a star at Clemson. Okay, we know he's not. But anyway, but it's just, so we had a little bit of history with each other. I'm just so happy that Jim's doing well, the battle that he has, and the toughness and everything else that he has. And here we are. He calls up and he says, "Hey, I'm going to head over there. Let's get a beer." And I'm like, absolutely. And it was great, just sit back and talk. And, I asked him about, his times and the successes that he had and really what he thought the main thing was. And his number one thing was that they're all together, and they were together. And I said, it seems like such an easy thing, but that's my job as a coach, is to make sure that this football team and this organization, we're all together. And that's going to definitely be the driving point that I have with our team.
And a couple more minutes to have left with you. Obviously, we all know it's a quarterback-driven league. You know that as well as anybody else. And Jim Kelly was the guy at the forefront of that stretch, that run, that dynasty, which it truly was. It didn't have to win a Super Bowl to be a dynasty. But what about your current quarterback situation, Coach? What can you tell me of your thoughts, your first blush thoughts coming into this organization that the quarterback spot appears to be open in a way?
Well, it is open. Because it's, we're really in early stages that, the evaluation process. But clearly our quarterback situation is, I wouldn't classify it as an ideal situation right now. But, there's some talent there. I think E.J. Manuel is a guy that a lot of people had, thought highly of. I certainly thought highly of him when the young man came out, in the draft and things, his first-round pick. But we're also going to explore every possibility out there. And when I say it's early in the evaluating process, it really is. So we'll see how that dynamic changes, as we get going on.
And the call from the league and HBO is coming, Rex. They won Emmy Awards when you did it for the Jets. Now you're in Buffalo. Would you be open to having the Hard Knocks come check you guys out this summer, you think?
No. I'm just kidding. I'll be, whatever, Terry and Kim Pagula, if that's something that they wanted to do, then, obviously, if that happens, it happens. But it's not something that, that I'm going to seek out. I can tell you that much.
Okay. And lastly, how's your dad doing?
He's doing well. He's ready to be a Buffalo Bill, and we're going to get him his gear and everything else. That's the first thing. It reminds me. It's amazing how this how it switches. I remember being a kid when Dad would get a job somewhere. I'm like, hey, we need to get gear. We need this. We need that. Now he's like that to me. So I think it's kind of funny how that switched. But I'll be more than happy to see him and proud to see him in Buffalo Bills gear, and that's what we're going to do, and I can't wait to see him. Maybe in the next week or so I'll be able to spend a little time with him.
But he's doing well? He's doing better?
He's hanging in there. He's pretty much in a wheelchair most of the time, and as we get older, there's a lot of things that come up in life, but he's tougher than nails, and he's going to keep fighting, and he might not be doing great that way, but he's still Buddy Ryan, and he's going to fight all the way.
Well, congrats on landing in Buffalo, Coach. You just make things more interesting, but I'm not telling you any tales out of school, and you staying in the AFC East, being up there, it's just going to make a lot more Sundays and maybe Thursdays and Mondays real interesting. So congrats.
Well, thank you, Rich. I appreciate that.
You bet. We'll chat down the line. Thanks for calling in.
Okay.
You bet. That's Rex Ryan, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.